Brought to you by Penguin.
The Fatal Englishman by Sebastian Faulks. Read by James Wilby. Christopher Wood. One day, in the spring of 1921, a beautiful young Englishman set off for Paris to become the greatest painter the world had ever seen. His name was Christopher Wood, and he was 19 years old. Until he took the boat for Calais on the 19th of March, he was working for a fruit importer in the city of London. He was the son of a doctor in the northwest of England, and his sudden disappearance to France confirmed his family's worst fears. Although Christopher wore shirts from the best outfitters in Jermyn Street, was well-mannered and polite to his parents, he seemed to have no understanding of middle-class convention. Some combination of circumstances had combined with a fierce streak in his character to make him wild and ambitious. He was determined to be a painter, and the intensity of his desire was frightening to his parents. Dr. Lucius Wood and his wife Claire had 2 children, Christopher, whom they knew as Kit, and Elizabeth, whom they called Betty. As a child, Kit had his hair cut in a bob and wore smocks. So did Betty. Family was relatively well off. The parents believed in God, and the children believed in Father Christmas. One December, Kit wrote, "My dear Father Christmas, I want a new good yacht, and I want it to be all hollow inside, and gun and a top, and Betty a big doll and a gun, and I want a very sharp chisel, and a good screwdriver, and a good paint box, and Mother wants a nice comfy bed, with love from Kit and Betty Wood." He always knew what he wanted, and in his childhood he almost always had it. His mother was devoted to him, and he to her. He would gather crocuses for her birthday on the 25th of March, and she repaid him with her doting indulgence. Claire Wood came from a Lancashire family called Arthur on her father's side, and a seafaring Cornish family called Pellew on her mother's. Kit liked to think that the sea and boats were in his blood. Dr. Wood was a general practitioner. He was a less demonstrative person than his wife, and took a detached view of his son's early enthusiasms. He called him Snodgrass, after the would-be poet in Pickwick Papers. Next to Dickens, Dr. Wood's preferred reading was the Bible. At the age of 7, Kit was sent to a preparatory school called Freshfield, where he excelled at games. In 1914 he went to Marlborough College in Wiltshire. This was one of the newer public schools, lacking the history or burnish of Eton and Winchester, but respectable in its way. The aim of such schools was to prepare their pupils for the service of the British Empire abroad, as soldiers, diplomats and administrators, or to get them ready for work in the professions at home. Games were as important as work, though neither was as crucial to the school's philosophy as the idea of independence. Their claim was to turn a boy into a man, even if the evidence suggested he was still a child. At the moment Kit began his time at Marlborough in September 1914, the world changed. "The plunge of civilization into this abyss of blood and darkness," wrote Henry James, "is a thing that so gives away the whole long age during which we have supposed the world to be, with whatever abatement, gradually bettering, that to have to take it all now for what the treacherous years were, all the while making for and meaning, is too tragic for any words." It was as though the history of Europe had been torn up. Erasmus, Shakespeare, Michelangelo, Goethe, Mozart, Dante, Montaigne, Tolstoy, Rembrandt, Beethoven. Their work had no cumulative value anymore. It was smashed into fragments that Eliot would try to reassemble in the wasteland. Almost 10 million men died. While Kit Wood struggled to settle in at school, his father went as a medical officer to the Western Front, where he stayed for the duration of the war.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?